5:21, good afternoon, I'm Andrew Edwards. What better introduction could there be to a discussion about Huddersfield? Because the retail sector is an industry, of course, traditionally hard hit by any recession, and this one has been no exception. Tonight, the attention turns to Huddersfield, where 1 in 7 town centre shops currently lies empty. Well, businesswoman Kate Hardcastle, who was born in the town, is hosting an event tonight aimed at retailers and residents, and they want really, I think, to whip up a bit of excitement again. Delighted to say Kate Hardcastle's with you on BBC Radio Leeds now. Hi, Kate.
Hi Andrew, how are you doing?
I'm very well, nice to hear you. You must be chuffed as well to be talking this week with that build-up to that huge game at Old Trafford this weekend.
A massive game, yes. I mean, I'm not a huge fan, but, you know, there's the loyalty for the regional element, so yes, all the best for them.
And it gives a bit of a buzz to a place, which I suppose is what you're after to bring back to Huddersfield Town Centre in particular, isn't it?
Well, that's right. I mean, we became aware. I set up a business called Insight with Passion with my fellow Yorkshireman, Richard Gummersall, 2.5 years ago now. And we are brought in by lots of different businesses, including retailers throughout the world. So we have projects in Australia and Dubai to try and help retailers to tackle the recession because, as you know, it's worldwide. I started reading the headlines as a local person who does a lot of community work with projects like the charity Dream Girls, and was just devastated. And I really felt the difference in town centres like Huddersfield and Halifax as a local shopper. And I wanted to understand what was happening and could these tools and techniques we talk about be used. I've been on a 2.5-year journey now to try and understand how we can work with Huddersfield retailers to perhaps do some things. So the business is actually, for free as part of our Access for All scheme, putting on an event here at the George's Hotel tonight for the retailers, which is a free presentation of all of those ideas to try and give a bit of hope and hopefully rejuvenate a wonderful town centre that deserves, you know, to have a thriving retail community.
And you're so right there. I mean, you mentioned St George's Hotel. We have a paper review every Monday with the Examiner. We were talking about empty stalls in the market as well. But the fact is the situation, you've got that wonderful, beautiful architecture around the station. A few years ago, it was compared to Paris. I mean, the centre of Huddersfield looks great, doesn't it?
It's absolutely gorgeous. I'm a very, very proud Huddersfield born and bred girl. I still have houses here, even though I travel extensively, and I like to spend my money and my weekends here and raise my family here.
So you've got to convince other people to, rather than go over to the Trafford Centre or to the White Rose or down to Meadowhall, to do their spending there, haven't you?
Do the spending here. Now, let's be very honest about it, Andrew. There are things to do that retailers can do. The end is not nigh right now. For instance, we've got to admit customer service is not that strong in retail in this country, generally. And one of the things we're going to be talking to the retailers tonight are ways that you can engage people when they come into the store to try and spend a bit longer with you, enjoy it a little bit more, because just because it's doom and gloom, if we feel that way when we serve someone, as you know, it's not a great experience. We don't enjoy it, and we'd rather go somewhere where we have a bit more fun. The same way with the way we present the stores, we keep the stock in, what stock we buy, and getting enthusiastic and passionate about the products that we sell. So it's not rocket science. I'm not here to talk about that tonight, but me and the partner of the whole team, so we're going to dedicate 3 hours to doing everything we can to try and make a difference. We have tried through the council, etc., to see if we can offer this, and it's something that we found quite challenging. So as someone who's quite determined and driven, I just decided we were going to do it anyway.
That's interesting. I love the way you use that word challenging, which in that context it tells 1,000 words, actually. What about really simple stuff, but it's stuff that matters? If you go to these big out-of-town centres, you get free parking. What about, say, parking in Huddersfield?
Well, absolutely. You know, parking is a bit of a challenge, but it is there and it is accessible. And just because the parking isn't right next to the shop we want to go to doesn't mean that we can't have a great experience here. It's just making Huddersfield enticing. If I stand in certain areas of this town centre, I could be anywhere in the UK. I was one of the VIP guests last night to Disney and their Regent Street store opening, and they have really understood the whole child shopping experience. It was wonderful, and to come and stand here in that town centre today and see the contrast of the closing down signs, the fact that you don't know where you are, there's no details about the heritage, all that wonderful architecture you talked about, it just feels like a neutral zone. You know, the coffee chains, the pound shops, it's actually quite depressing, and what we're looking to do is celebrate Huddersfield, celebrate Halifax, Sheffield, Barnsley, wherever, because we've all got great rich heritages that the Americans would love. You know, they would love some of the stories that we could tell.
Tell me finally, you talked about the journey you've been on looking at your hometown like this. You've made businesses transform as well. What about some of those people there who may have their heads down and may think it's tough economically, I don't know where I can go from here? Can you do this, Kate?
Yeah, absolutely, we can. And we understand that, we're a business at the end of the day, and we do work with all sizes of business, but we know that for a very small independent retailer, we may be not an option. If we can't engage through the council, we did speak at World Town Centre Congress on what we do, but we need to be able to get the right support from councils, etc., to come and help a town centre. So for me, it was, what can I do? I've got to do something. I can't just grumble about it. Let's bring the ideas that we can give them to implement. But what we've done is looked at those ideas in context to the size of the retailer, so that a lot of them are free to implement. It is about better service. It is about better merchandising and interaction. They are free tools. They're not going to cost retailers anything. And if they want to make a difference, if they want to engage us as shoppers, they're going to have to start doing it, Andrew.
Well, Kate, I love your enthusiasm. I wish you, on all our behalves, very well, and I hope the event tonight goes well. Thanks for speaking to us.
Thank you so much. Thanks a lot.
Kate Hardcastle, live on BBC Radio Leeds, businesswoman, proud lass of Huddersfield, Dream Girls, the charity she's involved with as well, and that meeting tonight aimed at retailers and residents in Huddersfield, trying to get a bit of excitement back. 27 minutes past 5. It's BBC Radio Leeds. I'm Andrew Edwards.